Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the BCTV podcast. I'm your host today, Chardmonk. With me, as always, is my good friend Captain Dark. Say hi, Captain Dark. There you go. TFG Paul. What's going on, Paul?
What's going
He's
on,
alive.
man?
The power didn't fall on you. We're okay.
Yes, and I almost love that you almost said cockcast.
All right,
Cockcast?
thank you.
Hey, you know,
phrasing.
you got to bring him in, right?
Okay, well, I didn't know it was that kind of
That's what Bud
podcast.
wanted to do.
Just no.
Anyways, today
Moving on.
we're going to be featuring our good friend Bud Cave TV, who designed this. Well, he didn't design it, but he brought
This
all of us
monstrosity.
idiots together to sit around in four squares and talk about retro gaming and Twitch and our lives in the Twitch world, as well as the retro and retro-inspired world. Bud, how are you doing today, sir?
Just peachy, man. I'm doing great. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing good. Doing fantastic.
Good.
We might as well just start off the questioning. Does anybody have anything they want to cover before we fire up into diving in?
I took an Imodium before the stream, so I think I'm going to make it through. I just want to make that clear.
There's a fine line between TMI. Okay?
I feel like we've had this
Lee, I'm
conversation before.
I'm kidding, Lee.
Well, he's
Bud-
an old man. He's got to keep regular.
gotta keep the fiber up. And
Yeah, you know, I just started taking some once a day for men, so we're
Yeah.
going to see if that makes my life
for
any
you,
better.
man. Good for you, man.
Finally there.
You don't have to worry until you get up to the Centrum Silver.
Oh, good. I'm still at the bronze stage, so we're
Right,
doing all right.
You old fucks are on the blue pill then.
No
No
blue pills
blue
here.
pill yet.
Well,
Blue pill
hey,
yet.
Captain Dark still has his Flintstone gummies, so he's
That's
good.
true.
I'd rather take the Flintstone gummies than the blue pill.
Wow.
I'm still over here able to work, damn it.
That's right.
This Bud Cave TV now with more wood.
That's right. Yeah, look at all the wood we got now. We got so much wood. It's beautiful and hard.
I think we're gonna dive right into this
Little
bad
splinter.
boy, and we're gonna ask the basic blanket question that everybody wants to know. What got you into Twitch and content creating, man?
I kind of always feel like I've been an entertainer at heart, although I don't really have any, I'm not like Paul. I haven't done theater. I haven't done, been in any bands or anything like that. I just was always kind of, I was always kind of like the class clown at school. And then I was always the office cut up wherever I worked and all my IT jobs and stuff like that. Because I always loved getting reaction out of people, especially laughter. So I feel like I've always kind of had that within me. I just never, growing up in the Midwest, I just never really saw any opportunities for it. So I just kind of went about my life. Then I decided, I was getting a bit older and I was like, man, I got to do something, man. I want to do something. I'm tired of just going through the motions. I want to, do something. I thought about starting a YouTube channel, and then I realized I was extremely deathly camera shy. And I was like, okay, so I freeze as soon as I get up in front of a camera. I can't talk. I need to figure out a way to get past this. So I decided that immersion therapy would be the way to go. And about the time I saw, I was watching YouTube, because as one does, and I saw it was the Angry Video Game Nerd and his friend Mike Matei. They were doing their James and Mike Mondays.
Motherfucker Mike.
Huh?
Motherfucker Mike.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, but this was before I knew any of that. But this was just how it unfolded.
Right.
So yeah, I saw them. They were playing a game on the couch. They were playing Castlevania 2, oddly enough, which is one of my favorite retro games, or at least it was at the time. I'd say it still is. But anyway, I was like, I could do that. And I was like, if I'm just playing a game, then the game will have a distraction for me. I could put my focus on that. And then maybe if I just kind of throw myself in there, just kind of jump into the deep end, maybe I can get past this camera shyness. And maybe I can, that way, I could actually do this YouTube channel. So I did it. I jumped in, and oddly enough, the first game I played on stream was the game I'm playing now, Chrono Trigger. Yeah, one of my favorite game of all time. And
I have that ringing endorsement from me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I just got the man Chivo in like an hour.
Listen, this podcast isn't about me. Okay, it's about you today, Bud. So let's.
But anyway,
stay on target.
Okay. Back to it. Focus, Bud. My ADD kicked in there for a minute.
Just a little, yes, I got it.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'll brag about it later. It's not about me. It's about you. Thank you for allowing me to have the limelight.
Wow.
So where was I? So yeah, I was all to get past my camera shyness, because I just wanted to do a sketch comedy channel on YouTube, and I did it, and by the time I got through Chrono Trigger, I just discovered that I really freaking loved streaming, and I really loved interacting with the community. I really loved the retro community in particular. I hadn't quite got past my camera shyness at that point, but I just kept going with it because I was like, well, this is fun. I really enjoy this, and there's really something there, and I want to pursue it. So I did, and then eventually, I got invited to, eventually it was like within a month or two, I got invited to do DGDS, and that's where I met you, Chard, and Captain Dark. Mm-hmm. And I felt really good about being invited to do charity events. I thought, wow, I must really have something to offer if I can, start something like this. And then people are wanting to invite me to be part of their communities. And it really touched me, giggity. And it made me, in a good way, but it just warmed me up to this community and made me see what this community was all about. Yeah, the good touch. And I just fell in love with it, man. And the rest has been history. And I plan to continue for a long, long time.
Now, did you start on Twitch or did you start with YouTube? Because you mentioned both of them. So was it YouTube first and then Twitch, or did you twist and YouTube, or you do it at the same time? Or
okay,
how'd you do that?
That's a good question. I did a few YouTube videos. I've actually shown them on my stream. I don't have any handy, or I would show them. That's the ones I did with my buddy Patrick. Yeah, everybody's seen like the Dick Sling video and the Swedish Detective video. Yeah. I'll have to play them. Yeah, I'll have to play them. These are old school. But I made like 3 or 4, maybe 5 sketch comedy videos with my buddy Patrick, and then he's always usually busy with work, so it was kind of hard to arrange that, although once we get past COVID, I want to start doing stuff like that again. But anyway, I did like 3, 4, 5 YouTube videos with him, put those up. They kind of sat there for like a year because it was just hard to get put together, and I don't know, I got lazy and procrastinated, and that's when I started doing Twitch. But when I did start doing Twitch, it became exclusively Twitch for like the longest time, and I'm just now starting to get back into YouTube with actually this podcast, because this podcast gets uploaded to YouTube, and hopefully I plan to, if not this week, then very soon, start doing maybe weekly videos, kind of vlog entries, kind of behind the scenes stuff that we'll be putting on YouTube too. I really want to work on in 2021, really building up the YouTube presence, because I think in the future it's going to be, actually not even in the future, now it is important as content creators that you diversify and you're on multiple platforms, not just one, because when you see what happens, when you see how easy it is for people to have their channels taken away from them, for one thing, or sites that go under, if you're talking about like Mixer and stuff like that, several months back when they just went out, it's not under your control entirely, your content, and your channel's not entirely under your control. So I think it's better just to have those multiple platforms as a safety net, and also it will broaden my experience and my hopefully talent as a content creator to be doing multiple types of content.
Gives you deeper
penetration. It's also good to...
Deeper penetration, and that's what it's all about.
Wow. It's all about that. It's also good since Twitch doesn't... Well, I'm trying to steer the car back onto the road.
He's trying to keep it on the rails, man.
Paul's sitting over here grabbing the wheel like, there's a ditch! And I'm like, no, stop!
Take my left foot, put it on the accelerator.
This is the guy that puts on cruise control and goes
right into the
coffee.
wall. Yeah.
How? Love you,
I'd
Paul.
really love that Winnebago.
Yeah, Twitch doesn't hold on to your videos for extended periods of time either. So if you're playing like a series and you want to hold on to that for whatever, YouTube's a good place to upload that stuff, because they do hold on to your stuff for I guess an indefinite amount of time.
Yeah. It's a great way to archive your content for sure. Yeah.
So the first game's Chrono Trigger, which is a fantastic RPG.
Mm-hmm.
What made you go, okay, my first game I ever streamed was fucking Kane and Lynch, which was terrible. It was an awful game. And then I tried to do Titanfall because it was a multiplayer game and it was whatever.
Right.
You got your shit pushed back, didn't you?
I did. All the time. All the time, every day. Which is why I don't play it anymore.
Right.
What made you decide to go with an RPG style type game? Because I know a lot of people are really trepidatious, coming from someone Captain Dark knows, I know, that plays a lot of RPGs in our streams. It's a long, grindy, story driven thing, and you got to kind of pay attention if you want to. It's not as easy as Call of Duty and running around, and it's just action all the time.
Mm-hmm.
What made you decide to do something like that for your very first attempt at streaming?
Couple of things. First off, this wasn't really part of my decision making, but I went into this cold. I didn't start by watching streams, which I think I should have, and I would have done better early on had I have done that. So I wasn't really that familiar with the Twitch ecosystem or what was popular or what wasn't. I just knew I liked Chrono Trigger, and I was and also the other part that was very key in the decision making process was it was very much in the beginning only about me just getting over my camera shyness. And I was like, well, if I don't have anything to talk about, if I'm playing an old school RPG with no voice acting, there's dialogue on the screen like 80% of the time. So, that will fill the gaps of me not having anything to say. I could just read the story and then just comment on what happens there. And it did work in that regard. And I gained a following early. And it was, Chrono Trigger, is always going to be a popular game. It's always going to be a fan favorite. Even though I didn't consider that when I went into it, it was more about just having the dialogue to read, and I love the game, and why not just start with something that I'm really going to enjoy, if I'm just going to jump into this.
That's cool. That's a cool thought. I never thought of that utilizing the game to kind of help you push yourself forward too, with the talking and reading off all the information that the game's giving you. It can be really hectic just doing something that's really quick. You can't. Yeah. It's hard to grab people's attention, especially if you're starting out with something super fun and is your favorite game. Yeah. That's a really good way to grip people. Right. And I'll be honest with you. You telling me you've never watched anything from Twitch starting in and you just went in totally blind? I'm calling bullshit on that. Whether it's real or not, because I'll tell you what, you have a natural knack of making it look like you've been doing this a long goddamn time. And I know 3 years could be considered a long time, but in the scope of life, dude, you look like you've been doing this shit forever. I remember your when Barley did the Bud Paget thing. Oh yeah, that was so great. And you made the fucking video of you walking around the house with Barley saying Bud Paget, Bud Paget. I fucking loved that shit. I was crying. Yeah, crying when I saw that video. You are an extremely entertaining person. Well, so thank you. Not to fluff your feathers or anything, but it's true. I think you have a knack, like you said. You felt like you had it. Well, it shows. I mean, it definitely shows to me. I can't.
Don't give him a big head now.
Yeah, well, he's got to fill out that hat.
I got.
What size is that hat? What size is that hat, bud?
I don't know.
Hey, Cap Dark,
it's an adjustable hat.
A question so you can make the hat a little smaller, I guess.
I don't think I can. I'm not wearing the Fred Durst Frank hat. Wow. Why am I so old? Because I was born a long, long time ago.
Well, easy there, Captain Dark. This is an 18+ channel.
Don't make me DoorDash you.
Are we ready to talk about that yet?
Symphony of the Night.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay.
No, I actually did have a thing for Bud that I wanted to say, which was the whole choice for Chrono Trigger also goes on something that all four of us have talked about 1,000 times, and that's having some real fucking fun on Twitch. Not playing, I better go play this game because then everybody will watch it. No, I'm going to play what makes me happy.
Yeah. This isn't supposed to be a job. Right. I want to make a living off of it, but it's not supposed to be a job.
Natural.
Yeah.
Even when I see those old clips, like where you're staring at the screen and the camera was like below the monitor, it's like looking up at you.
When I was still figuring it out, yeah.
Yeah, you were still having fun and being natural and enjoying yourself. And I see a lot of the Bud now that was then. I mean, production values change. Sure. We all know that. But I want to applaud that and use that as an example to all you up-and-coming streamers. Play what's fun. Don't go, I better go play
Fortnite
Rocket League
or Rocket
every night.
Well, hold on.
Or
unless
Alone
you
in the
like
Dark
Rocket League and Call of Duty, play what you want to do. That's fun.
Yeah, but the key
if you like Fortnite,
I better play it
Fortnite.
as opposed to I wanna play it.
Right.
Yeah. In other words, not chasing numbers and chasing the fun and chasing making good content, which is what it's more about. Yeah.
It's supposed to be chasing the dream. And then for a lot of people that do this content creation, the dream is to basically get a stay-at-home job where you're having fun playing video games. That is the dream. But you got to have fun with this dream where it just becomes a regular job, then you get bored. See, me personally, I get bored at jobs really easily. If they're not stimulating enough, I'm ready to quit within like the first month or so because it's boring as hell. But anyway, besides that, because this podcast is about,
Well, I just hope that we're stimulating you enough, and that was kind of my thought.
When I said it, I was like, "Fuck."
I'm glad we can stimulate you, Captain Dark.
That's why I got the camera up here. We don't need to talk about stimulation.
We can see Charge.
I'm going to put both hands. Both hands are up here. I just want to point that out.
If the camera falls over, I'm well stimulated.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
He's a tripod.
He's a bloody tripod.
That's my name in high school.
That's right.
But my question was, now I'm gonna try to steal the car back. I'm gonna try to steal the car back. My question is,
this is going off the rails. That's just all there is to it.
We know ATV started doing Twitch, and it was obviously for emergency therapy as far as getting over your camera shyness. But who is Bud Cave TV beyond the stream?
Good question. Good question.
Well, I mean, obviously, I do retro games. I like tinkering with technology quite a bit. I do enjoy. I've been tinkering with this little guy I just got not too long ago. This is my new retro Pi that I'm going to be running. Right now, it's just running Plex player on it. It's running being a Raspberry Pi OS, they call it now. They changed the name of it. Just got RetroArch running on it this morning. I haven't got any games loaded up. I got to get the cores loaded up. But yeah, I like to tinker with tech a lot. I love tech. I love, of course, my cats. You guys know about that. I like, playing with my cats. I like getting in the outdoors when I can. And this COVID's been killing me because of that. Not because of the COVID, but, I didn't get COVID, thank God, but because of the, not being able to get outdoors and do as much as I would like. Although when the weather warms up, I'm definitely going to be doing that. I haven't in a while, but I love fishing. I don't have it anymore. I ended up selling. I had a 17-foot bass boat for a while. Never got into the tournaments or anything like that, but I do like to fun fish. I'd go out on the lake, catch a bunch of fish. That's a great afternoon. Just soak in the sun and breathe the air. I miss that tremendously. Play a little bit of guitar every now and then. I'm not great at it, but I can bang out a few AC/DC tunes and a few Metallica tunes and Megadeth, a little bit of that kind of stuff. That's really pretty much it. I like to have fun.
For those who have not seen Bud accidentally stream one of his little guitar sessions, he actually, to my ears, he actually did pretty good. Now, I'm not the best musician in the world. I actually used to play piano.
Yeah.
And so I could hear music a little bit.
Yeah.
And from what he played, it actually sounded pretty good. So don't let him bullshit you that he's not a great guitar player. That's bullshit.
I'm trying to stay humble.
We're not talking about staying humble. We're talking about who the hell you are. You could have said you're good at it.
I'm not. I'm good at it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
There you
go. Don't underplay yourself.
All right.
Never undersell yourself, Bud.
All right.
This is an interview.
I'm the fucking goat. Okay. I didn't notice I said I'm the fucking goat, not I'm fucking the goat. You gotta be careful where that the goes,
No, we heard it.
We didn't know that you were Welsh.
Wow. I am Welsh, actually.
He's gonna need another ring on that hat. Jesus.
Yeah.
So we talk a lot about Captain Dark's favorite game, Symphony of the Night.
No.
I know you love Castlevania 2. You've mentioned it on numerous occasions. And it's obviously, it's funny because it's such a the translation's so shit that it's very polarizing. That's good way to say that. What brings you into Castlevania? He's gonna go get it. He's getting his hold on, he's gotta show off all his gear.
Focus camera, goddammit. There it is. That's good enough.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Burn that shit.
What about Castlevania, all of them, the Egovanians and the originals, really brings that to you? What makes that like your favorite series to play?
Well, obviously, aside from great graphics, great music, it's the mechanics of the game. It's got great platforming in it. It's got some frustration in it, obviously, because it's notorious for the knockback and things like that. But I just like the jump and whip mechanic. I just like the getting through what I call the obstacle course of any platformer. They're just fun to go through, and the music is always just top notch. And it was one of the earliest games that I played. It was one of the first games I played on Nintendo was Castlevania 2. 2, followed by CV1, and then CV3, and later CV4. So it's always been a part of my gaming life from my earliest memories of gaming, and so it's definitely going to be one of those things that's always going to be with me, just because of that in and of itself. But I just think they hold up. I just think the graphics hold up, as do a lot of those that era, the NES and SNES era of 2D sprite-based games. The graphics hold up because they're just classic. You can't beat it. And it's got such great graphics. The story's good, and the platforming is just top notch. So I feel like I rambled on a bit there, but yeah, you get the point.
You're fine. Two-parter. First of all, do you like Egovania more, or do you like the original setup, the Castlevania first?
Okay. That's really a tough one because I do like both of them. I probably would like Classicvania a little bit more because that was my earlier experience with it. But Egovanias are just always so much fun too. I mean, Symphony of the Night, I know Captain Dark hates it, but it's probably my second favorite Castlevania game, right behind CV4. So it'd be CV4, CV, or Symphony of the Night, and then probably CV2 after that one.
So, but sorry, Chard.
No, go ahead.
But for those of us who don't know, like me, and I'm pretty sure maybe somebody in the chat may know more than I do, what is an Egovania?
Okay, so it's I don't know the difference between that and a Metroidvania, but I think they're kind of used interchangeably. But I just think of it as just classic Metroidvania. It's a Castlevania style game, or it's more of an action platformer with Metroid type mechanics where it's not all linear in a straight line. You have to go unlock certain things, and there's a little bit of backtracking. You might have to do, pick up a certain item to get to a certain room, or something like that. There's more puzzle solving involved.
Okay, so
that's the Cole's kind of game.
I think it's because the original person that did the 3 or 4 Castlevanias initially was a different person, and then wasn't it taken over by Ega? I can't remember his full name.
I'm terrible with the Japanese names. I always thought he was the one that made. Who's the guy that did? Was he the one that did Symphony of the Night, or?
Yeah, and so they changed. It is Metroidvania, and it is interchangeable. But because he took over and did the Metroidvanian style, they just put, I believe, his first 3 initials to Egovania. So I think that's where
as an homage to the guy that created or started it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And the second part of my question for this: why Castlevania 2?
Oh, because it was one of the games I got when I got my original NES. It was my first Castlevania, and so it was my introduction to the series. And I don't know, it was one of those games that my dad played with me, which was a very few games that he ever ended up playing with me. So there's memories of playing that, with my dad. But just having it, on Christmas morning with my Nintendo, just kind of artificially jumped it up, I guess, or pumped it up the list. I don't know how you word that, but it's just one of the earliest ones, and I have fond memories of it.
Nice. And as we discovered in a prior episode, the exact same Christmas morning that Bud and Shard and I all got our Nintendo.
All got our Nintendos. Yeah. What were your 3? Well, I got 3 games. I got of course the Mario Duck Hunt. I got the Castlevania 2, and I got Top Gun. What were your 3 games?
For this, I'm too young.
My 3 were Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt, the
single cartridge
combo game. And fucking what was it with the power pad? The Olympic Games.
The Olympic Games.
Yes, track and field.
Track and field. Yeah.
So we had 2 games to start, but one of them had 2 games on it. So those are my 3. Were Duck Hunt, Super Mario Brothers, and
track and field. Nice.
Yeah. Mario Duck Hunt, Ice Climbers, and 10-Yard Fight.
Ooh, nice. I remember running 10-Yard Fight. Very cool.
So
yes, and by the way, all the people who are watching this instead of watching the Super Bowl, we love you. So yay.
All 2 of you. I don't know how many we got. Yeah.
What time is it?
Yeah.
But so what was the NES your first system ever, or did you have any other games before that? Did you play anything before that you can recall? And out of those systems, or out of the systems we play now, what are your favorite systems to play?
Okay, so NES was my first system that I ever owned. I did have experience playing other systems at friends' house, Atari 2600. I remember playing Pitfall. That was probably one of the few Atari games I played. Maybe Asteroids and there was one with tanks, I think. I don't remember the name of that one.
I remember that one.
Yeah, you know what the one I'm talking about, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were the ones I played before I got my NES. But my NES was my first one, and that's when I really became, a gamer, and that's really what led to, me today. As far as favorite systems to play today, definitely going to be SNES, NES, PS1.
Was Sega never part of your world?
Sega was, I was never a Sega kid. I was always a Nintendo kid, but I had friends who had the Genesis. So I did get to play the Genesis, but only when I would stay at a friend's. Actually, when my dad got remarried, her kids moved in. What?
Keep going. I was laughing at Captain Dark and I are having a moment. Go ahead.
And her son, my stepmom's son, he had a Genesis, but they only lived with us for a couple of months. So I had a Genesis for a couple of months just because he had one. Of course, we were playing things like Sonic and I think Vector Man and
Vector Man.
No, it wasn't Vector Man. I played Vector Man later. This was before Vector Man. Golden Axe, a little bit of that, and Altered Beast. That was the one I was trying to think of that I couldn't think of. So I did have some Sega experiences growing up, but I was mainly a Nintendo kid.
And I found just kind of going into this whole Twitch world, having people that I watch that are more from Europe, that I never realized that Sega was a huge thing in Europe. It just, that was their core, whereas Nintendo was more in America's core.
Yeah, Japan and the United States, I think, was more of that. Yeah, and then the Europeans, they got, in Australia too, I think they were more geared towards the Sega Master System. And they had what's it called, a Mark II or Mark III. There was some other Sega system that they had, I think, along the time of the Master System, and of course the Genesis. And yeah, that's interesting. I found that out probably a couple of years ago when I was starting to get in more into the retro game and watching the YouTube docs and stuff like that. And that was interesting. I always thought that. So
that's funny to think that Sega's whole purpose when it came to the States was to just literally their entire platform was to beat Nintendo. That's it. That's all they did.
Yeah.
And they were so successful everywhere else except for in the States.
Yeah.
I mean, they were successful here. Don't get me wrong.
Sega does what Nintendo don't.
Exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong. They were obviously very successful.
Yeah, blast processing.
It's there was the 90s was the battle between Sega versus Nintendo.
Yeah, Sega was the cool kids. They were trying to be the cool kids. They had the attitude, right?
Yeah. They wanted
to. There was the emo kids who playing TurboGrafx 16. Come on, we're cool too.
Hell no. But I have a
go ahead.
Question for you. I know we were talking about consoles and everything. Now, some of us know you had a name change. You went from, well, your first name anyway. I don't know if that was your first and last name, but I know at least that was your first name. So what did you? Why the transition from Sean to Bud K TV, and how did the Bud K TV come to be? Because some of us know. Look at the background. If you look at Bud's background right now, it was not always like that. He's made significant upgrades to the background from the LEDs, the sound foam. I think even changed. It looks like he even changed the curtains, the blackout curtains.
Used to be a Star Wars Stormtrooper thing.
See, look, the air conditioner sits right there and everything. There it goes.
Yep. Look at this guy. This is the cave. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember that.
He had that sitting back there over his air conditioner. I remember this. So
now Coco's blanket.
Look at his collections and everything. So how did this come to be? Like your design process and this, what made you come up with the whole Bud Cave name?
Okay, so when I first started on Twitch, I didn't use Sean. I used Bud Paget. Paget is my last name, just because.
Don't dox yourself again.
Yeah. I'm not going to show my address yet.
Hold up the envelope again.
No.
Oh God, don't do that.
No, I'm not doing that again. No. But yeah, it was Bud Paget for a while just because I couldn't think of anything better. Bud is actually a nickname. It's the way I got the name. It's actually my late grandfather's name. It was also a nickname for him. I'm not going to tell him his real name because he didn't like his real name, which is why he went by Bud. But anyway, he went by Bud, and my first real job, after I got out of high school, I worked at a call center, and they had this rule at the call center that no two people that were on the phones in the company could use the same first name on the phone. And it was supposed to be a customer relations thing. So everybody was on a first name basis with whoever they were talking to, whatever. So if somebody already had your name, if nobody had your name, you could use it. If somebody had your name, you had to pick a new name. And I really didn't feel like thinking of one because there was another Sean. So I just went with I'll just use Bud. Fuck it, and that's what I did, and that's how I became Bud. So when I first started on Twitch and doing this content creation thing, I kind of thought I would use a pen name, and I'll just use a different name just because, I don't know. It just seems
the Blue Cheese Avenger.
I wanted some anonymity, and then I used a fake first name and my real last name because I'm really intelligent. So I went with Bud Paget for a while, and then after a while, I don't know, I just started to feel, because my grandpa passed away in 2016, and I kind of started feeling weird, like it almost felt like I was doing something wrong using the name after a while, and I was like, man, I kind of felt wrong about it, but I wanted to change it and go back to using Sean. By the way, I don't feel this way anymore about it, but this was just my thought process at the time.
SEAN, by the way, everybody. SEAN. Don't get it wrong.
If you're illiterate and don't know how to spell, you can spell it SEAN. So I decided to change it, and I wanted to keep the Bud part though, because people knew me as Bud. So I also always thought of this is my man cave, right? I didn't want to call it Man Cave TV either because that sounds weird. So I went with Bud Cave because it kind of sounded like Bat Cave in a way, and it was punchy and easy to remember. And and I always thought I could just say Bud Cave, and the Bud is like buddies, like I'm sharing my man cave with my buddies. So this is the Bud Cave. Welcome to the Bud Cave. We're all buds, and I'm your host Sean. And of course that didn't go anywhere because nobody calls me Sean except for like 2 people. So so I finally decided that if you can call me Bud or Sean, it really doesn't bother me anymore.
Old habits are hard to break. Okay, leave me alone.
No, and it's fine. It's fine. I still call myself Bud most of the time, so call me Bud. It's fine. It's not a thing anymore. But like a couple years ago, I just kind of went through this little short phase where I was like, it just kind of felt weird. And then after a while, I thought about it. It's like, well, when Grandpa was alive, I was using the name, and he didn't mind it at all, and he liked it. And I was like, well, I was just being silly. So that's why I changed the name. And I lost the other part of your question.
Your background, how did that come
the background how did I do the background changes? It's always been just kind of an incremental thing. Like I just kind of just lay it out by eye. I just kind of set stuff back there. I always wanted to have the retro gaming theme in the background. I never wanted to do a green screen. Not that I have anything against green screens. I own 2 of them.
Talking about me, Mutt?
No. That's not what I wanted to do here. I always wanted that kind of style of background because I wanted to do green screen work, but I wanted to do it in a different way. I wanted to supplement with green screen work versus the whole thing being a green screen work. I kind of always liked the studio look. So I these are just old shelves that my wife bought that we, they were supposed to have books on them that ended up having, just books that were so old that, like computer learning books, like Learn TCP/IP from like the 90s and shit like that,
Ooh.
Yeah, it's the shit we ended up throwing away, Learn HTML and Web 2.0, that kind of
This
stuff.
hasn't been opened in a while.
Yeah, exactly. Does that. So I was like, hey, honey, can I use those shells? She's like, yeah, go ahead and knock yourself out.
Hey, I'm just amazed that Bud reads.
Yeah, I can read. Yeah, I can read.
Yeah, I can read.
I can spell GED too. I can spell
Spelling?
GED.
No.
You sure about that? 'Cause,
Reading? All about that.
Chat begs to differ.
GED.
We say something in chat and you read it totally ass backwards.
Well, that's because I'm blind.
If there's
That's because I'm
anyone
blind.
that
It's not because I
shares
can read, yeah.
shares that ailment, but I share that ailment with you, okay, buddy? All
You're
right.
the oddball. You don't even have glasses. You can't read. You don't even have an excuse.
Maybe that's his
I
excuse.
can't read because I choose not.
Maybe he
to
needs
read.
glasses.
I elect to not be
I
able to
elect
read, and
not
I
to
expect you
read.
to respect my
It
choice.
is my
Damn it.
choice to be illiterate.
I
Thank
identify as an illiterate white man, and you will identify me as such.
Look what I've started.
Now I'm going to be reading the word canceled a
I was
lot.
born this way.
All right, Lady Gaga. Anyways, I since we're hitting the
I'll go get my meat jacket.
since we're hitting the setup, how you have the setup in the back.
Yeah,
there.
I didn't finish answering the question either, but go ahead.
Oh fuck! I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's
No,
okay.
shut the
Paul
fuck
was
up.
being
Okay.
a rude ass and interrupted me with wrong spelling my name. But no, it's just something that evolved over time. I just added a little bit,
Sorry.
as I streamed more and as I could, and I was able to earn more through the stream because I always reinvest all the money I earn, through bits and subs and all that, back into the community. I always put a third of it back into the community and subbing to other channels and bits and things things like that. And the rest of it I either save or I put into the set or, artwork, which I need to invest in some new artwork actually. But yeah, I would buy games a little bit over time. I started a small retro collection, all with the money I earned through Twitch. So I got my NES, my SNES. And I always wanted something to show off in the background, and that's kind of how it evolved, just over time, being able to build it up as I could afford to. And as I was inspired, I would add new things in. But it's always been something that just kind of organically, just kind of, as I was able to, I built up.
You know what you still haven't gotten, though? See a couple consoles back there without an EverDrive.
Yeah, I need to get, I'm actually thinking that I need to get an EverDrive. I haven't gotten around to one yet, but when I can't afford to, I definitely want to get one. Actually, two.
Do you consider yourself a collector of retro games, or is it just more or less like you love retro games? We know that.
Yeah.
You play them. You have them on display, but do you call yourself like a collector of retro games?
I mean, how do you define that? I mean, am I somebody who has this big giant collection that I'm going to do a big giant game room tour in? Absolutely not. I got probably, like 8 Nintendo games and maybe 6 SNES games and probably about 20 or so PS1 games. But
I can send you some more.
Oh, wow.
If you want to, fine. I'll take them. Free games? Yeah.
They're not going to be ones
you want to send me free shit? Okay.
They're not going to be ones you want.
But yeah, I know. No, I mean, I don't know if I would call myself a collector as much as an appreciator, and I do like to have them in the display because I do get a feeling, when I see those kind of things, it does bring the nostalgia, to the forefront of my mind. But no, I do like the systems. I like the look of them. I like having them. I like holding the controller. I like playing on real hardware. But yeah, I mean, I guess you could call me a collector, but a small time collector. Let's say that.
Seeing your gaming stuff in the back always makes me want to go, look real good back there.
Mm-hmm.
GameCube.
I want to get some stuff like, I want to start getting maybe some of them what are they called? Not Pogs, Pops,
Perlers?
Funko Pops and things like that.
Yeah,
or Perlers. Yeah. Perlers are nice too. Yeah, I want to get some stuff like that to put back there eventually too.
You know what? I like the term that you use. Instead of a collector, you're an appreciator.
Yeah,
I like that.
You're not out here to hog the games. And this is just me. It's just my personal thing with it. You're not here hogging games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got collectors out there that are hogging games. They get them on the shelves and they sit there.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to ever get played. They're not.
Yeah.
They're just going to. They're going to. Well, I guess most of them retro games are like what do you call them? Chips on their own chips.
Mm-hmm.
But for the PS1 and say PS2 games and stuff like that, or disc-based media or disc-based consoles, it's going to get disc ride.
Yeah.
So you're going to have something up there that's going to just be disc ride.
Mm-hmm.
But you're at least appreciating them enough to do with them as they're intended to be done with, which is play.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to enjoy them. And we can see that through your stream as well.
Yeah.
When you're playing certain games to sell Chrono Trigger, because that's the one you're playing now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll even say Majora's Mask, I think. No, it wasn't Majora's Mask that you were playing. It was Ocarina of Time, because you did Master Quest right after.
Right.
Oh, you did Master Quest.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, he burnt himself out because he did them back to back.
Yeah, I did back to back.
Yeah.
I did. No, wait a minute. I did Majora's Mask at the same time I was doing Wind Waker, and then later I did Ocarina of Time and then Master Quest back to back. Yeah.
So he burnt himself out on it, but it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
He has fun with his games. He's not letting them sit there and collect dust and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like I said, when he's on stream, he's on camera, despite how shy he says he is.
Bullshit.
All right, thank you.
Was.
Yeah, bullshit.
I got over it.
Dude, when I first met you on
Yes.
DGDS, you weren't even fucking. You didn't show it. If you
Yeah.
were, you didn't show it.
Yeah.
Let me say that.
Would have never known.
I'm a nervous rambler, so I would be nervous, so I would probably be rambling quite a bit. But on the inside, I was freaking the fuck out every fucking time, I swear to God.
Dude,
All I know is the first story I ever heard about this guy was him taking his shirt off during a stream, and I'm like, this guy's got balls of steel.
But
Well,
that
it
didn't
was
actually
during
happen. I didn't
DGDS,
actually
actually.
do it. Yeah.
Was that during DGDS?
It was
I
my.
thought that's
All
where the
right,
story
let's tell the story because this is definitely relevant and important. So my first ever DGDS, February 2018. It was the second DGDS that was ever done. They did one, and then I was in the next one. And they said, "Oh, you could drink. It's encouraged to drink. In fact, it's Drunk Games Done Slowly is what the acronym stood for." So I was like, "Okay, I was in the spirit." So your slot's at 8 a.m. I'm like, 8 a.m. drinking. I could do that. So I bought, and I'm a lightweight. I bought a 6-pack of Sun King, and I drank my entire 6-pack in my 2 hour segment. And after the 6th beer, chat was getting a little rowdy, and they were saying stuff. Oh, we'll give you this big donation if you take your shirt off. I was like, okay, $100 donation. I forget the amount, but I was like, $100 donation,
That's it?
and I'll take my shirt off. And then not enough credits had to actually hop in, and he hopped in. He's like, and you just in his NEC voice, but go ahead and leave your shirt on. I'm like, okay.
So
that was the whole incident. I said okay, and I left my shirt on. But everybody always says, "Oh, he took his shirt off." I didn't actually take my shirt off because I, as drunk as I was, though, I probably would have. So it's probably a good idea. He had the instinct to jump in and stop me.
But hey, and your bravery knew no bounds. You did nair a leg on stream.
I sure did.
That is true. But I met you to see. I think like Chard said, or actually me and Chard met you through DGDS. That was actually when I met you. So I must have missed the first half of your segment.
Yeah.
When I finally came in, and so I saw you in the second half, and I was like, man, this guy is actually pretty cool. He's laid back. He's playing retro games, and at the time, I was actually playing retro games. I was retro focused, real hardware focused. But said he was the same thing. I was like, man, I gotta follow this guy. This guy's pretty badass. So I like who he is. Then he started taking his hat off. I thought about unfollowing.
Wow. Yeah. I'll point out that Captain Dark, as soon as he saw me get on the camera,
that's right. I
told
can't
me to
take my
fucking
hat
turn
off
my head
anymore. I can't take my hat off anymore. I found a way to keep
big.
it. I found out a way to keep my hat from coming off permanently now.
Oh, Jesus fucking God. Are you joining a beauty pageant? This guy.
Meanwhile, myself with my very intact hairline is just going, suck it.
Oh, mine's good.
Please do not super glue your hair. Nobody. You're not encouraging on this podcast to super glue hair.
We at the BCTV podcast do not endorse putting super glue in your hair. I just want to put that out there right now.
Ease up there, Flop Sweat. Don't let it go that way.
We are also not endorsed by Gorilla Glue.
No, we are not endorsed by Gorilla Glue.
Probably why we don't want it to happen.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to dovetail onto something that Captain Dark said about retro and real hardware. Now, you are a retro achievement guy. You have been popping them Chivos, but did you ever do real hardware on stream, or has it been mostly emulated?
It has been probably, if you go overall, probably about half and half by this point. But there was a period of time where I was exclusively real hardware. And the only reason I'm not doing that now is because I got into the retro achievements, and unfortunately, I wish there were a way to do it, but there's no way currently to do retro achievements on real hardware through RA anyway. I mean, I know they got the Switch with their own achievements, but to do what I'm doing, I have to emulate. Which I'm not anti-emulation.
Unless you technically sent them clip after clip after clip of it doing a thing, and that's ponderous.
Yeah,
and even then, they'll fucking email you
yeah.
back and be like, please download this program and stop sending us
Stop
fucking emails.
annoying us with this shit, please, bud. God damn it. But no, I don't mind emulating. I like emulating. I think emulation is awesome. I like I said, I'm tinkering with this RetroPie, working on getting emulation, working on that, or RetroPie. It's a Raspberry Pi. RetroPie is an OS that I do not have installed on it. But yeah, I love emulation, and I love real hardware. I just love really pretty much every aspect of retro gaming. I think there's no wrong way to enjoy it. And retro achievements, which I'm doing now, has added a whole new layer to it that wasn't there for me before, which is why I probably will be doing that for a while. While still probably collecting, picking up some, retro games too and playing them. I do have a real nice CRT TV back here that I do hook up and play on from time to time. So that's always nice to enjoy. I wish I could show that on stream in a way other than like pointing a camera at it, obviously, right. So you guys could get that real CRT. Well, no, I'm saying so you guys could get that real CRT look that I get to see if I'm playing on that monitor, which would be really fantastic. Although that's not really possible.
And I'm gonna ask a stupid question because I'm not the tech guy. What the hell is a Raspberry Pi?
Oh, a Raspberry Pi is what do you call it? It's a single board computer. There's an acronym. I don't think it's SBC, but it's a computer with an ARM processor on. It fits in this little box. I could take it out, but it's just a single board. It's got the processor, the memory, the Bluetooth, the Wi-Fi. Everything's built onto that, and it's just a little thing you can tinker with. You can install different versions of Linux on it. I think there's versions of Windows you can even run on these things too. But they're really great for a lot of people learn to program with them. A lot of people do different projects with them. You could do like home automation with these things. There's like about a million different things you could do with it. What I'm doing with mine is I'm going to get emulation running on it, and I currently have Plex running on it. So this is going to be a media streaming box and a emulation station. Although I'm not going to run emulation station on it.
Okay.
Layman's terms, it's a very small computer.
It's a tiny computer.
Microcomputer.
Very small computer.
Okay, because seriously, for me, that's just me going.
This thing with everything, this whole kit with everything with it was $100.
A lot of people get old school like NES games, and they'll get like a mini NES case, like a little itty bitty guy, and then play. They just load it up with NES games, and that's their little NES Raspberry Pi. My Lord Optic, my buddy, has something like that. It has a bunch of retro games that he plays off, and you can play it on your TV and your computer.
Bunch of cool projects you can do with them. Yeah, they're really good for somebody who likes to tinker with technology. Yeah,
and I think they play up to like PS1 games.
Yeah. This thing's supposed to do 4K. I don't have a 4K monitor, so I can't test it out, but it'll do up to 4K according. It's the Raspberry Pi 4B. It's the 4 gigabyte model. They have a 2, a 4, and an 8. I got the 4.
And this actually goes into something else. I know I'm asking a lot of questions.
No, go. Yep.
Sorry, and I'm fully gonna admit, dude, you're one of my close friends now, but I'm also a big fan. So getting to hear this stuff from you is fun. I'm a fan of Bud. He is the most watched channel. When I got my little Twitch review of the year, I watch Bud more than anybody else. Sorry, everybody else. But what does it mean to you to have the community that you now have? You hit go live, and you have got all these people that, like me, are just like, dude, Bud's on. Gotta go see Bud. There is a community. There is a culture around your channel with the inside jokes, with the games that you like and don't like. I'm so gonna get a t-shirt design of you as Higgins from Adventure Island.
I hate you right now.
No, you don't.
I was doing my Captain Dark impersonation. Go ahead.
Yeah, shut your whore mouth. So how does it feel with all of this that has now, I mean, we've talked about the beginning, but look at what you've got now. How does this feel? What does it mean to you? And when you think about, just stepping back for a moment during you being live and going, look what we got here.
Yeah.
What is that like?
It could be surreal. I know that. I mean, I don't want to talk like I'm some big time guy. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I'm just a regular guy like anybody else, and I'm not even that big on Twitch. I mean, I'm mid-sized. Anyway, enough of me humbling myself. I love it. It's great. I'm humbled by it. It's amazing to me that there are so many people that come by and hang out with me, and that get the inside jokes. It's just one of those things that I'd never occurred to me in my whole life that I would have, because I've always been kind of like the follower. I've always been the guy that just went along with the crowd and just did what everybody else did, and I was always kind of disappeared, so to speak, in it. But I would have other crowds I would be with where I'd be more boisterous, like I am on camera. But it's just something that I don't know. It's hard to put my finger on. It's like, is this real? I mean, are people really wanting to come and watch me play video games? What is that about? It's just, it's weird in a good way. I love it, and I love my community, and I really cannot wait to click go live every weekend. I kind of wish I could go back to 5 days a week sometimes because I love doing it so much. But at the same time, I kind of think that I'm in the right place doing what I'm doing now with the 3-day-a-week schedule. I don't know. It's just hard to describe because I can't really quite put my finger on it. It's a good feeling. That much I do know. It's a wonderful feeling because I can confirm
that we do love it when you go live.
Yeah. And I love you guys, and I love, you guys on camera with me right now. And I love, the mods in chat, and I love the people that just come by and say hi or drop a lurk. It's just, the community is so supportive, and I was welcomed in, immediately. First day, people were, coming in and hanging out with me. And it just, it to me, it's friendship. It's just, you guys are my buddies and I want to hang out with my buddies. And that's all it's really ever been. As far as what I want to accomplish, I want to make friends. I want to, I want to be in a community. I want to, I want to give people a feeling of welcoming, and it's just, I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling a bit because there's so much I want to say, but I'm having trouble with the words. But
no, you definitely create a community and an environment that is extremely welcoming, and whether you receive that coming in, how you said everybody's very welcoming coming into your stream, you definitely emulate that back out. So whatever you got that brought you in here brings the rest of us back in, because you are a mirror image of, I guess, that kind of community of welcome, warm, comfortable, fun, funny, goofy, all that fun shit that we love to hang out and see.
Thank you.
True.
But it doesn't just come from me. It's something that it was there. I mean, I always wanted to do that, but it's something that was the community was so welcome to me when I came in, and I felt that I received that. And it felt like it was just a natural thing for me to exude that, since I was receiving so much of it. It felt good to be a part of that, and I'm eternally grateful, and I hope to always be a part of this.
As are we. I think Paul and I could both contest that we are also very grateful that you were a part of this, because we wouldn't know each other. Paul and I wouldn't know each other. Captain Dark wouldn't have gotten to know each other. We wouldn't have our little running jokes after only 6 episodes.
Yeah, this is just number 6. Yeah,
this has
been fun.
This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, so. I'm enjoying this thoroughly. Yeah, I like I said, I missed I missed yesterday's stream and today's stream. I won't get into why. I just haven't been feeling the best.
Right.
But there was no fucking way I was missing this. I don't care if I was going to fall over dead if I did it. I was not missing the podcast because I
just aim the camera at you on the ground.
Yeah, I'll just do it from bed. I'll just hit with the camera. But no, I mean, I knew you guys were looking forward to this episode especially too. But even if it was not my episode, that's not what I'm saying. I just couldn't miss this. I love doing this. This has been the most fun thing I've done on Twitch yet, and it's because I get to do it with you guys.
Agreed.
And as Chard said, I think my trajectory on Twitch would have been very different had you not been one of the first people that I ran into. Because you're not only you're a great entertainer, you put on a great show, you're good at video games most of the time.
Sometimes.
You have skill as a gamer. There's a reason that you're getting badges. But then also, I had said this, I think, on my episode about damn it, now I'm blanking on the actor's name, who said, as soon as you get up the ladder, I feel it's your responsibility to look back down and reach your hand and pull someone up.
Was that Keanu Reeves?
I know he probably Jack Lemmon.
Was it Jack Lemmon? Okay, I remembered that quote. I just couldn't remember who said it. Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I really admire is your willingness to help streamers at any level, no matter if they've got 4,000 followers or 40 followers, whether it's the numbers or the tech stuff. Oh, dude, this guy last week was on remote control on my computer trying to figure out this issue with my gaming PC. He was on there for 2 hours. I just see him running scans and installing and uninstalling scanning programs. And in the end, it was something that was on my end. It's hardware that's probably, just that's the way it is.
Yeah.
But this is a dude who has got a huge heart about having other people also be successful and happy with their experience on Twitch, whether they be people who are viewers only, or streamers, or people like the great Gall, who doesn't stream but is this amazing mod and guru of games
and generally awesome guy.
And it's just I'd say, could we have a few more buds out there? That would be great.
That would be great.
I don't know, that might freak me out a little bit, but yeah.
because we already have the problem. We can't feed him after midnight, and we can't get him wet. And so if we have any more of them, this is going to get bad in a hurry. So we'll take the one we got.
There you go. One's enough. One bud's enough, I think. Yeah.
Bright light.
Bright light.
More love for that one bud, though. I don't want to split up my bud love.
There you go. Yeah.
I'd like to focus it on one bud.
There you go. I will receive all the love.
Well, we are getting close. We are over the hour mark. Yeah. Do you have anything else you'd like to bring up there, Paul?
What's the future for Bud Cave TV? What's on the horizon?
What's on the horizon? Well, obviously, we're going to continue doing the retro achievements and the podcast. I'm going to be introducing video content on YouTube coming up. Hopefully, in the next week or two, I'll start doing some stuff. I got some ideas in the back of my head. I just got to get them, fleshed out and written down. And get planned out, but probably do some, I don't know if I'm going to do equipment reviews or something. I don't need to become the next Epos Fox or anything like that. There's one enough. that guy's enough because he's so awesome. I couldn't even touch him. But, I would like to do maybe even some, achievement set reviews or maybe, which I would probably, ask Gall to work with me on, or, I even thought about just doing equipment reviews and set up tutorials from a retro streamer perspective. Just because I don't think that there's not really a lot of that particular content out. There's a lot of the stream gurus on, which I don't want to become one of those either, but I think there's not a lot of content that goes at the perspective of retro, because I think retro on Twitch, is what I'm speaking of, is kind of a unique little unicorn because of what it allows you to do. And I don't think enough people know or appreciate this to the point it doesn't get the attention it deserves. But the way I look at the retro directory in Twitch is it's kind of a loophole in the whole being a variety streamer aspect of it, because it's hard to grow on Twitch as a variety streamer. If you listen to any of the gurus, they will tell you that, stick to a single game, find a single directory, own that directory. Well, what retro allows you to do is allows you to do multiple games in one directory. So you can be a variety streamer as long as it's in retro and you're in that one directory, and you can grow a community and play like every genre of game there is and every type of game there is, as long as it's retro. And it's so awesome. And I think people are starting to realize that, because I've been seeing a lot more people come into the community, which is great. You talked about how if you get to the top of the ladder, it's up to you to pull somebody up. And the other saying that I like to think of, the one I use more is, I believe a rising tide lifts all ships. So if I am lifting other people up, I don't do it for self-serving reasons, but it is in a way, because if other people are rising up, I'm going to rise with them. And so are you. And so is Chardmonk and Captain Dark. So I think that, because I'm susceptible to this like anybody else, because when you get into the number chasing and you start comparing yourself to other people, and that's where I think a lot of people get into the jealousy and things like that. And when you see other people's success and it starts to bother you and you get that jealousy, I think that's damaging only to the person who is jealous. So I try not to be that way, and I try to do my best to help other people to do their best. And be happy when they do. And I am genuinely happy when they do. When you got that 1,500 viewer raid the other night, I was like, oh my God. I was smiling that whole night from ear to ear, man. My heart was just so warm. I was like, man, I was just so happy for you. I was giddy. And I was like, I could hardly sleep. I was like, I can't believe that happened. That's so amazing. 1,500 fucking viewers. And then you got up over 500 followers.
About that guy.
Huh?
He was on Late Night with Stephen Colbert.
Oh, was he? Yeah.
He was a guest on Stephen Colbert's show a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I'll look up his stuff on, like, because he does.
I followed his channel, but that's all I know about him. Yeah.
He does He does Summer Games Done Quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew he was in the GDQ stuff.
And then it said he was on Colbert, and I'm like,
I didn't know that part. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm kind of glad I didn't know any of that, because I just was just like,
you would have been like
blown away.
Yeah.
And like, hi everybody.
Yeah, but that was amazing. That was an amazing moment, and it made me so damn happy, because one of my buddies in the retro community has had just such this wonderful freaking thing happen to him, and that feeling could have easily gone the other way. I could have easily looked at that. Well, fuck, I've been streaming for 3 years. How come I didn't get the 1,500 person raid? How come Paul's getting all these fucking viewers and I'm not? What the fuck's wrong with me? And I've done that, not with you in that situation, but I've done that before in my life, where I've seen other people, succeed. And then I felt like, well, why the fuck isn't that happening to me? What the hell's wrong with me? And then I felt terrible. And then what happens after that is you get that feeling, and that you get into that cycle, and then all of a sudden you get to the point where you can't do anything because you're just crippled by it. So that's a lesson that I learned, unfortunately, later in life than I would like to admit, but luckily before I started, the Twitch thing, although some of it did creep in early on. But anyway, I think that having that attitude and wanting to help people and lift people up only does good. Not only does good to the people you're helping, but it does so much more for the person who is doing the helping that you may not realize at first until you really take the time to think about it, or until you actually take the time to start doing it and get those feelings and understand that that's the way to be. Because my success, it has only grown since I've taken that attitude, and when I do not succeed as much as I want, and I take the good attitude when I see other people succeed, it only lifts me up and makes me feel better about what I'm doing, and helps me do better moving forward. So it's the way to be. That's why I am the way I am. It's not entirely selfish, but there is a selfish component to it.
Nice, good answer.
But you play it well.
It's genuine. It is genuine. Yeah.
You have got a great heart, and I think that's what also draws people to you.
Yeah,
we see that, we feel that, it's genuine, and promise myself I wouldn't cry, but you're just such a good dude, and you really are.
Stop.
We're making him oh, he did get a little red there.
Yeah, I blushed. Yeah.
Well, we love you, dude.
I love you guys too.
We got 2 questions.
All right.
Would like to be asked. I believe both of these are directed. Yep, both of these are directed at you, bud.
Okay.
First question is from Starry Nick.
Mm-hmm.
When were video games first introduced in your life? And if you played as a kid, what was your favorite game as a kid?
Okay, so let's see. There's a couple different ways I could approach this. I mean, first video game experiences I remember was just being a kid and over at a friend's house, and maybe their parents had an Atari, or they had an Atari 2600, and playing those couple of games we talked about earlier. My first real one that I have a vivid memory of is probably going to a Chuck E. Cheese when I was a kid, and they had a Super Mario Brothers, not the Mario Brothers that was the old one with the levels and the pipes and you'd knock over the turtles, but the one we got on the NES, but it was the arcade one, and they had it at the it was actually, as old as I am, it was Showbiz Pizza at the time. It was actually before it turned into Chuck E. Cheese, I think, or it was either that or it was right when it turned to Chuck E. Cheese, but they had that, and I sunk a bunch of fucking tokens into that damn thing, and I just fell in love with it immediately. After that, it would probably be at my uncle's house, and he had an NES with the Legend of Zelda, the original one. He left running on that, and I was at his house, so I started playing that, and that's the day I started begging my dad for a Nintendo for the following Christmas, which I did get, which we talked about before. So Zelda was actually my first Nintendo game I played on a Nintendo, although Mario was the first Nintendo game I played because I played the arcade version. And I didn't even know that was the game that came with the NES until I started asking for it, and I realized I was going to get that game, and I was even more excited about it. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to play Mario, So, favorite games early on. Favorite game as a kid, my first favorite game was The Legend of Zelda, the original one. Followed also by the Castlevania 2. We talked about that a bit earlier. So NES era, definitely the Legend of Zelda games, the Mario games. My favorite NES game, by the time the end of the NES came around, was Super Mario 3, of course. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. And then the Super Nintendo came out, and of course the Super Nintendo came out, and my favorite game on that is, of course, Chrono Trigger, followed closely by Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, followed closely by Super Castlevania 4. So always been strong in the Zelda and the Castlevania realm.
Awesome. All right. Question 2 is from Quirky. Bud, you said you love playing with tech. Money, no object. What would be your dream purchase to enhance your stream/cave?
That's a good one, because I feel like I've been able to get a lot of that already. I mean, like, I have this wonderful, camera I was able to get. That was, unfortunately the money came from an insurance settlement from that accident, but I got my camera. I'd like to get maybe an SM7B to replace this, but that's a future thing. Let's see. What would my ultimate to do the stream? I would like to be able to
dark.
I would like to be able to build a top of the line Ryzen PC to be a game PC, and then make this one my stream PC and run a dual PC setup. I think that would be pretty awesome to do. It wouldn't be too hard for me to figure out, but it would be something awesome to kind of set up just to learn about a dual PC setup. So I think I would to just. I know it's kind of a boring answer because everybody thinks of stream gear, but I feel like I've got the stream gear. I just like to really beef up the PC a lot, and maybe you get the Stream Deck XL because I got the regular one. I want the big one. I need more buttons.
I already feel like I outgrew.
Yeah, I need more buttons. I need more buttons. But good question, Quirky and Starry Nick. Thank you.
I want the XL as well.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we could do our round robins and say our last words if you want to. Captain Dark, I'll go last. Captain Dark, if you got anything you want to say about it.
I'd like to say the but. No, I'm just kidding. But you are a great person. Seriously, dude. Ever since I met you on DGDS, you've been an amazing role model, especially to a lot of people in the community. I know you had a lot of setbacks, but you kept pushing and you keep going. I want you to continue on that journey, especially the retro achievements. You got a good thing going. Please continue. Don't change from that.
Oh, I don't think I will. Yeah, it's fun. I love the retro achievements.
And stop overthinking.
I'll try. That I can't promise.
I guess it's my turn.
Yeah, Paul, go ahead.
I freaking love this guy. Seriously, I love you, bud. You have been, if not, as far as Twitch, you are the brightest light in Twitch for me for all of the crap that this past year has been with COVID, with just everything that happens. It's just like, if Bud's on, that's stream therapy for me.
I appreciate that.
The way you have become a friend in my life personally is unbelievably invaluable, and I thank you for your kindness. And it's something that you exude to your community so well that there's a reason that I'm not alone. People freaking love you, and don't ever change, dude. Absolutely. Except for blue cheese. We need to work on that.
Yeah, get rid of that shit.
Okay.
And honestly, when the day comes that things get back to normal and we can travel again, dude, I am coming to Indiana and I'm gonna make so much barbecue.
You better.
That Frank will smell it from down in Kentucky and he's gonna go, "What the hell? Where's my invite?"
His invite's right now. Frank's automatically invited. Frank, you're definitely invited.
Fucking banned.
You're invited, but Gall's banned. No, he's
banned.
Okay, he's unbanned. He can come too.
No, he's totally unbanned.
All right, Charity, go ahead.
Well, it goes without saying that I 100% mirror everything that is said by both Paul and Captain Dark. We've been on a long journey together, you and I, bud.
Definitely.
We've done charities together. We've done retro achievements separately but together. We're currently chasing the same badge because you told me to do that.
Chrono Trigger, yeah.
That's your fault.
I'm all for it. Get her done.
I could think of nobody else I would rather chase achievement badges on the best one of the best RPGs, SNES era. You hit me up, you asked me to do a podcast with you, and without even thinking about it, I was like, fuck yeah. No questions asked. I'm fucking there. I don't care who you have on. If you have a body with a severed head sitting in the corner next to me, it doesn't say shit, but he's just there to hang out, I'm fucking there. I don't care.
Paul, next time you have to wear your green screen mask so I can chroma your head out.
Yeah, we need the green head.
Key is head out.
But I truly appreciate
the headless hipster.
You as a person, as a streamer, as an entertainer, you are a phenomenal force on Twitch for good and for positivity. And every time I go, I was listening to the VODs of Chrono Trigger at work the other day.
Oh, really?
So I could be like, where's this motherfucker at?
Right. Doing some recon, right?
how far behind am I in this guy?
Yeah.
But I found myself like originally was like, oh, I want to listen to it because I didn't get to see it. So I wanted to listen to it. And I found myself listening to like the last 3 episodes. I was like, oh, it's over. Let's go to the next one. without even thinking about it, because that's how fucking I'm not even watching, I'm listening to it. 'Cause I can't watch it work.
Right.
Because my hands are busy and I'm looking at other shit. But I just like,
you don't lose a finger.
Next one, without question. And that's how entertaining you are. You don't even need to look at it. Just listening to you talk about it, listening to all the funny jokes and all the quips and the quirks and the Fermi lines, the no's and all that shit. I love it. And you are a stream inspiration, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
I think you are definitely someone that people can look at and be like, that's fucking something I want to fucking do.
Wow.
And you exude that positivity and that support, and you just need to keep doing what you're doing, because if you fucking don't, I'm flying to Indiana and I'm going to fucking prop you up in that chair and I'm going to turn that goddamn camera on and we're going to do it together. I'm going to work your ass like
do like a weekend at Bernie's, but with Buds. Yeah, weekend at Buddies.
Make me come out east, but
weekend at Buddies.
Bud Cape TV. We're going to play some fucking retro achievements. Let's have a good time. Yeah, exactly. Total. Try and put your hands under mine, and I'll play the controllers. We'll figure it out. I'll get it done.
Don't worry, Chard. I got your back.
That's right. Well, you'll be like behind me, like in with the arms.
Yeah, really will be like Bud Cape.
So fucking confused.
Oh Lord.
So, thank you for everything you've done for all of us and myself. Mostly, and allowing us to have this fun with you every Sunday night. I got the Super Bowl on. I wouldn't miss the Super Bowl for the world, but I was like, I'm not fucking missing this shit for anything.
I'm honored. That's crazy.
So,
yeah.
I love being here, and I was like, I don't give a fuck how long this takes. We're doing this shit because I want to talk to my buddy Bud and Paul and Captain Dark and have a good time. And every Sunday we do. Every fucking episode just seems to get better and more polished, and my dog's barking in the background. I'm sorry.
Well, there goes the polish.
Yeah, there it is. It's done. We'll fix
dogs
that out.
Bark on stream.
It's
fine. I love puppies.
We'll cut that out.
I love doggies. It's fine.
So, but I think
Chihuahuas.
Except for Chihuahuas.
Well,
those are rats.
Breadbasket dog.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Bud. Thank you for all of this. Thank you for Bud Cave TV podcast. Thank you for Bud Cave TV. Thank you for being on Twitch, and thank you for being Bud Paget.
Ah, there it is. I knew something was coming. Guys, oh my God,
I love you, dude.
I love you too, man. I love you, Captain Dark. I love you, Paul. I love you, Charty. Guys, thank you for being on the podcast. You guys talk about me bringing this stuff to you, but you guys, I wouldn't do it without you. With just me talking to myself, I might as well just do my regular stream. But it's been so much fun just to have some really good friends as you guys to be on this thing with me and to chat with and to get to know better and to build this, closeness and this bond we're building. And it's such a rewarding experience for me. You said you were jumping at the chance to do the podcast. I was so scared to ask you because that's just the way I am. I self deprecate, which is I was supposed to start therapy this week actually, but I got rescheduled. But that's one of the things I need to work out in my therapy sessions is my self-deprecating. I do tend to be down and negative towards myself. I don't know where that comes from, but I'm going to figure that out. But anyway, I was scared to ask you because I didn't think nobody's going to do a podcast with me. I'm just some jackass. I'm just some fucking jackass, right?
You could have just been like, podcast ? And I would have been like, fuck yeah. Be driving Indiana.
And Paul and I had talked about doing one before, and that kind of, because shit kind of happened with both of us, and that never ended up happening. And then, Paul went back to work, and then there were the times that, Captain Dark and Lee and I would do the Stardew Valley streams. And what really made me think to do one in the first place was, I don't remember who it was, but somebody was hanging out and said, you guys should do a podcast when they were listening to us. And I was like, I always kind of wanted to do one. Excuse me. But even then I was afraid to ask anybody to do it because I was like, nobody's going to want to do this shit. And then one day I finally got to the point where I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Because Paul had already asked me about it and I couldn't do it at the time, and then he couldn't do it. And I finally got to the point where I could do it. And I don't know, Chart, I always had you in mind, but when I asked you, I wasn't even planning to ask you at that moment. I forget what even happened. No, I was
shit, I asked Chris, fuck. I didn't mean to do that. And I just doxed myself.
You just doxed yourself. Yeah. No, I had you in mind the entire time. Every time I thought about you were always top of my list. Captain Dark was always top of my list. Paul was always top of my list. And I was talking to you about something else, and something inside me just said, ask him now. Just fucking do it. Just stop. Just fucking stop overanalyzing it, because it's what I was doing. I overthink things, like Chard said. Stop overthinking the fucking thing. Just ask people what to do. So I was like, I'm going to do a podcast. And they were like, yeah. And I'm like, I fucking jumped out of my chair. I was like, oh my God. Somebody wants to do a podcast with me. Oh, fucking
yeah.
great. Yes.
Fucking, we
then I was like,
this
Paul,
3 years ago. This would have been awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I wish
this really is a dream team.
Yeah, I wish I would have done it earlier.
I'm very glad to be.
I think, and I'm not an astrology person, or I don't believe in mystical shit or anything like that. But it just seems like the stars were aligned at that moment, because Paul had come into my life, and you guys were already in my life, and it's just something in the back of my mind was just saying, God, you got to do this fucking podcast, man. If you don't do it, you're never gonna do it. If you don't just fucking stop thinking about it and just take the fucking leap, bud.
Get out of your own way.
Here we are.
Get out of your own way.
Here
Take the fucking leap, bud, and do it. And I did it. I'm so fucking glad I did it. And my only regret is I didn't do it sooner. Although, like I said, with Paul being around and with the like you said, the dream team, with this combination here, that I think is the secret sauce that needed to happen. And I think it just happened to be the right time, and the inspiration just happened to be there. And I had the balls to do it finally. And I'm so glad I did. And thank you guys so much for being a part of it. I love you guys so much. And I'm not trying to get emotional, but
we got you, buddy. We got you. 3 ranches and the blue cheese,
but thank
everybody.
you. And thank you to Lee Clips and Gall too, and Solid in the chat too, because they are a big part of this, and
absolutely.
And I love you guys.
We couldn't do it without them mediating and getting the questions thrown in and answering all the things that we need to, and getting us set up for success. And they're this team is extremely well outfitted for a long and successful run. I think.
You made an old man cry.
I think so too. Yeah. No, I didn't think I wasn't planning to get all weepy, but it happens. And
I was gonna say that's one thing off my bucket list.
Make Bud cry. I think I made myself cry just thinking about you guys.
I was hoping it was the achievement, but it just took me a little longer.
Yeah. There should be an Achievo for making Bud cry, right?
All right, guys. This has been another spectacular episode, and I'm happy that I got to be in the boss chair for a little while. This was a lot of fun, guys.
You did great, man.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Paul, Captain Dark, Bud, Lee, MTG, and of course Gal. Thank you so much, guys, for spreading the love, spreading the money around, and rocking this show. We will be back next Sunday with our first topical episode, right? We're gonna do a topical episode.
I haven't picked out the topic yet, but I will figure it out, and I will announce it in the Discord, and I'll be talking about it on my stream. The stream I'll do, which will be this Friday, and I'll let you guys know, and you guys can, of course, spread the word.
Perfect. We'll be having guests too. I mean, not next episode, but in the future we'll be pulling other guests.
Some episodes will definitely feature guests.
Yeah, but we're also going to be doing a lot more topical type stuff too. I'm excited.
We're attention whores.
See, these 6 episodes have been because we got such an amazing crew of 6 people that have been to get to know the crew. This has kind of been kind of us getting our feet wet. You guys and giving us a chance to get to know each other and get comfortable working with each other, which we did immediately, and also to give the community a chance to get to know us within this context. And now that we've gone through all of us, now it's like we're actually going to be starting the real podcast, although this is the real podcast, but we're going to start doing the podcast as originally planned, starting this Sunday.
And we needed time to get all this wood paneling up.
And the wood paneling, I had to hang that, and I'm still waiting on the glue to dry.
Guess we'll never see him without a hat again.
Never get
so much for that style.
Oh, thank God!
Wow,
Captain Dark will like that. He hates me without my hat. It bothers him for some reason. I don't know why. He never told me why.
I'm hatless in solidarity.
Yeah,
guys, thank you so much for being here. Bud, you do your thing, brother.
Love you guys. See y'all later. Have a good weekend, everybody. Or good week.
I have an unpopular opinion.
I don't even know what happened.
Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
No, I don't. I fucking hated it.
A few minutes later.
First this of the game. You know what I'm saying? I don't recall where she actually does it, but I'm just saying.
This one.
This one. We shouldn't be gatekeeping it in the community. Everybody enjoy what they enjoy.
Yeah, everybody should enjoy what they enjoy for sure.
Except Tails. You got to enjoy Tails.
15 minutes later.
Starting out, like for many people, it's Final Fantasy VII.
I hate you right now.
you just now saw that?
It's been on for like 15 fucking minutes.
20, 30 minutes.
I stopped paying attention.
Oh, wow.
You and Stalin get on my damn nerves.
Fight!
Superb. Finish him. Blue cheese wins. Tastality. The whole time he just yells at you, yeah. Billy Mays here for wanting to suck your blood. And then after I'm feasting on your flesh, I clean it with OxyClean. Yeah, because that's what it said. What's this? Oh, is this another boss? How cute. Oh, the music changes. It gets all epic. He does his little show and he's dead in a second and a half. Whoa! Oh, am I Herbert the pervert now? Ooh. Yeah, it was fun. Oh man, that's hilarious. I have nothing to do with this wall. All right. I disavow this wall. And all that it stands for, all opinions expressed by this wall are solely the property of this wall and do not represent the opinions of Richter Belmont. Why is this guy holding his crotch? Look at that dude. I guess he got... They're all holding their crotches. Looks like I'm surrounded by a bunch of assholes.
In the final round, you can give out 1 gold, 1
Oh
silver,
God!
and
Look at
1
how many
bronze
glory
medal
holes
for
are in
the
this.
top 3 quips. Make them count.
One, two, three, four. 4 people call it glory hole. That's so good.